Okay, so um, I will be reporting the 2025 Philippine Flood Control Corruption. So, by the way, I am Romeline Isaleng. Good day or good night to everyone. I just read the introduction. The business ethics refers to the principles and moral values that guide the actions and decisions of businesses. It ensures that companies operate responsibly, fairly, and honestly in their dealings with the employees, the customers, and the society. So, studying the real world ethical cases is important because it helps future professionals to understand the consequences of unethical behavior and how ethical decision making can protect a company's reputation and the welfare of its stakeholder. Kumbaga, it's their asset. It's the assets of their company. So, next. Wait. Next, we're talking about the background of the case. So the Department of Public Works and Highways, the DPWH, initiated several flood control projects to address the frequent flooding in the NCR. So these projects were worth billions of pesos and were meant to improve drainage systems and river channels. However, in early 2025, reports surfaced that a portion of these funds had been diverted to ghost projects and overpriced contracts. Investigations revealed that several contractors or government officials may have colluded to manipulate project costs and submit fake project reports. Yes, and it's true. I just watched the KMGS lately. One of the nakasali sa pagmomonitor ng mga projects is yung si Mayor Magalong ng Baguio City, which is sila yung nagmomonitor ng mga projects kasi sila yung kumbaga nakakita ng mga anomalya sa mga projects kasi may mga ghost projects pero tapos na yung mga reports niya. Tapos yung reports pero yung mga projects hindi pa tapos. Yung iba substandard, kumbaga, yung ginamit na materials, overpriced, lalong-lalo na sa Baguio, sa Cordillera Administrative Region. So, ang ginamit nila, instead of yung ginamit nilang price is original price niya, kumbaga, yung light, nasa mahigit 1,000 plus yata yun. Pero, yung naging price, parang naging triple. Naging triple yung price nila. Yung mga ibang contractor kasi, meron silang sariling, ano ba yan? What do we call this? Meron silang lumber, sariling lumber. So, doon mismo sila nagpo-purchase. So, kapag doon sila kumukuha, nag-overprice sila. Nagiging triple yung amount. Which is, kapag 1.6, example, nagiging 3,000 plus, ganyan, yung price niya. Yung iba naman, meron na silang sariling mga cars, mga bulldozer, mga dump truck. So, yun na yung ginagamit. Hindi pa sila nag-hire ng mga other laborer kasi meron na silang sariling tauhan. Ang dami nang nabistong mga projects, lalong-lalo na yung mga sa NCR, marami nang nai-report na ghost project pero mismo pa yung mga senador involved sila. Pero dinideny nila kasi meron umamin na mga contractors, mga engineers na may mga mali-malitang pera na dinadala sa bahay ng isang politiko, isang government officials, isang senado, ganun. So, May mga projects din na ilang buwan lang na ginamit na ano na siya, nasira. Saan yung saan banda yun? Yung may gym, may nagpa-practice na mga estudyante, pero bigla na lang nag-collapse yung building. So ayun, yung mga projects na grabe yung nangyari ngayon. Usap-usapan na ng mga projects na may report kaso hindi naman tapos. Meron pang nasimulan na pero hindi naman natapos. May mga projects na substandard yung ginamit, may mga overpriced din. So billion, imbis na million yung gamitin, imbis na million lang yung naka-propose sa project, yung fund ng project, nagiging billions na. Yung mga thousands, nagiging millions, it's converted to higher rate. Next, the ethical case. So, the main ethical issue in the case is corruption. Yan, specifically, the misuse of public funds for personal gain. This behavior violates ethical principles such as honesty, accountability, and integrity. The unethical acts included falsifying project documents, inflating budgets, and approving non-existing works such as actions not only wasted taxpayer money but also endangered communities that relied on these flood control systems for safety. Yung bilyong-bilyong na dapat mapunta sa project, wala. Ginamit nila as their personal money. Parang dineposit nila, yan tinago nila kasi yun naman yung totoo eh. Kahit di sinasabi nila sa mga dinidina nga nila eh, yung mga funds, yung mga tax ng mga tao. Hindi nila naisip na yung mga napupunta sa projects, yun ay nanggagaling sa tax ng mga tao. Hindi, yan, yung misuse of public funds. So, ginamit nila para sa personal na gain nila. May mga bumili ng mga mamahaling sasakyan, nagpundar ng mga bahay, ganyan. So, ayun, yung ethical case dito is, yung issue is the corruption. Kasi, yung mga documents, finalsify nila. Hindi totoo. So, pag-inflate ng mga budgets, sa pag-approve ng mga non-existing work, yan, sinayang nila yung taxpayer money ng mga tao. So, ayun, ang nagiging epekto ng corruption, nagiging endangered na yung communities, parang isasara na yung mga ibang projects muna. Lahat ng projects ngayong 2025 yata is na-delayed. Delayed yata or is in-stop muna. Dahil sa corruption. Grabe yung corruption. Ang isang mga nabanggit na dun yata is si Diskaya, yung mga iya Diskaya. Kasi meron silang mga branded cars na worth millions, ganon. So, kapag tinutotal natin yon, grabe yung napunta sa kanilang personal na gain. Pera ng mga tao. Pero sana naman, kahit konting konsensya, meron sila para kahit papano next year or katapusan ng taong ito, magiging mayos na ang issue na to. So, how the issue was handled. So, ayan. Sa ngayon, hindi pa siya ganong na-handle kasi iniimbestigahan pa rin yung mga ibang projects. The issue was brought to light through a commission on audit, which is yung tinatawag natin is COA report and unexposed by investigative journalist. In response, the Office of the Ombudsman and the Department of Justice, the DOJ, so launch a formal investigation. Yan, Sa ngayon, nag-iimbestiga pa sila. Several DPWH officials were suspended. Nasuspended na sila. Pero yung head yata nila, isa sa mga nagmo-monitor kasi hindi niya alam na yung mga tauhan niya is yun pala. May mga galamay. Yun pala sila yung mga galamay ng mga official. Further review, and the government announced a stricter monitoring of infrastructure projects. So the president also ordered the creations of an independent task force to audit all going flood controls, public biddings processes were reviewed, and some contracts were terminated to prevent further losses. So ayan, grabe. Nakakasad na talagang nangyayari sa Pilipinas. Kaya hindi siya umuunlad dahil sa mismong tayo nga na mga Pilipino, tayo rin yung nagpapababa sa ating bansa. Ayan. At saka yung naging impact pa nung mga ginawa nila, yung mga crop. Grabe yung epekto nila kasi lahat na apektuhan. Lahat ng mga bilihin na, tumaas ng presyo, ganyan. May connect talaga yun. Kasi once na yung iba na kapag yung pangkabuhayan mo lang is yan, buy and sell. Saan ka naman kukuha kung wala ng labor ngayon? Kasi nga i-ano mo na nila yung mga projects ngayong 2025. Then outcome and impact. So this scandal had a major impact on public trust in government institution. Many citizens expressed frustration over recurring corruption cases despite ongoing reforms. So the DPWH image suffered and future projects faced delays. Ayan, na-delay na. So due to tighter scrutiny and new auditing procedures, however, the exposures of the issue also led to positive outcomes. So it encouraged more transparency initiatives and whistleblower. So protection within government agency. Yung mga ibang government agency, sangkot sila. So paano magkakaroon ng transparency? At na-delay mo na yung mga future projects natin. Dahil sa issue ngayon na hindi pa wala pang nadidiin. Meron yung mga person of interest kaso under investigation pa rin. In conclusion, this case highlights the importance of ethical governance and accountability in public service. So corruption not only harms a nation's economy but also puts citizens' lives at risk. So the Philippine flood control corruption scandal serves as a reminder that integrity must be upheld in all areas of the governance. Pero paano nga? Yung mismong mga gobyerno natin, sila pa yung nagiging root cause. Kumbaga sila pa yung nagiging leader sa corruption. The first common root cause sa pagbaba ng economy ng Pilipinas is the corruption. So, ayan. That's it for tonight. And the conclusion continue. To prevent similar issues, businesses and government agencies must implement stronger internal controls, encourage transparency, and reward ethical behavior among employees. So, yan ang problema kasi ang pagiging transparency regarding sa mga projects, hindi nila tinatransparent kasi nga para makakuha sila ng mga kanilang makakuha sila ng kahit maliit na halaga, ganyan. Minsan pa nga sa iba, mga 10%, mga 20%, ganyan kinukuha nila. Yung sana naman, yung mga contractors, sana mabigyan sila ng mga konsensya kasi ang daming nare-risk ang buhay, daming mawala ng trabaho. Kasi kung laborer ka lang or constructor ka lang. Merong mga constructor na fair, hindi naman lahat ng contractor, should I say, not sa constructor, sorry, contractor. Sana naman kahit konting konsensya, meron sila pagmamahal sa bayan, ganyan. Sana kahit papano, meron silang ganun para isipin nila yung mga kapakanan ng mga tao. Hindi lang yung sarili nila, hindi lang yung pamilya nila yung iniisip nila. Pero sana this issue, this case, should solve this before this end year. And yan lang po. Thank you.